You must have probably noticed that it is really hard to be motivated all day long. You must have worked on some of the things in your life, but you just don't have the motivation to start and to finish. And writing a research paper can be one of such tasks which I can totally relate to. Sometimes there are days when I start writing and it never ends, and there are days when I don't want to start writing. If you are not feeling motivated to write a research paper, which is an essential component of your PhD, then how do we tackle it? How do we get across to the next side? So without further ado, let's begin. So before understanding strategies, first it's essential to understand what are the things that are triggering you and what are the things that are coming in your way. So we'll move from external to internal causes and we will see how this goes. Understanding your peak hours is important. There are 4 personality types that I want to discuss with you: bear, wolf, lion, and dolphin. These are the 4 types. Mostly they are used to identify the sleep cycles or sleep chronotypes. I think it's a useful tool if you want to understand how you function. So if you are a lion, your timings are matching according to that. If you are, say, suppose doing writing work or research work later in the day, it doesn't make sense, okay, because it will not agree to your chronotype. Sometimes the delay could be because you don't like your supervisor and you don't wish to discuss things pertaining to your paper, because any paper will involve communication and interaction with supervisor and his or her feedback. Most of the times whenever there is procrastination going on, putting things off or delaying, most of the times people feel that this person is lazy, that is why he is doing that. If the person is lazy or if there is a problem, then in such cases all the tasks should get delayed, right? But it doesn't happen this way, and most of the time it's the writing task as far as PhD goes that is put off and is delayed. When I had to write a paper, I started with writing with whatever resources and I realized I was putting it so off. Weeks and months went by, but I could not get myself to write. Then I chalked my peak hours as per the chronotype series that we have gone and scheduled it and put it on the calendar. And before going to sleep the previous day, I used to always see what is written. So that used to put me in the zone that next day at this time I have to do. So these things, they appear small, but they have a large impact and help you accelerate your growth in the goal journey. For this, we are moving on little to the mental health side. If the same routines are getting repeated, there is no change, okay? You are not going out, you are stuck. These things also can trigger a lot of side effects, a lot of things that you don't want to see, you don't want to write, you don't want to do anything. And gender is also to be considered. Both male and female hormone cycles, they work differently. Sometimes for females, if it is that time of the day, then it is obvious that you will take a dip in your energy with respect to writing work or with respect to any work for that matter. So scheduling your writing tasks around those areas. This is not just for females but for everyone. If you know that in a particular day or a particular week your energy is going to get down or there is something else to be scheduled, then you can schedule stuff accordingly so that it doesn't affect you and you end up procrastinating it. Experiencing stress can really put you down, and this I don't have to tell you. We know the effects of stress. It raises cortisol beyond a certain level, it affects insulin resistance, and then it starts affecting your physique as well. Whenever there are major changes like having a baby, changing house, shifting to places, there is a lot of stress and it's a subconscious stress. When I was moving out of hostel into an apartment during my second year, I believe, during that time I realized I started getting forgetful and whatever my schedule was, I started forgetting. This stress can really affect you and put you in a different state. So one thing that you can do is take a step back and evaluate, now these things are going on. Maybe this is not the time to pursue this writing or anything, any other kind of goal. Loss of any loved ones, family, relative, friend, or even pet can make you feel detached from situation. Changes in relationship, changes in different environment can also be one of the trigger. Some mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, bipolar, can put you in a state which is outside your zone of genius. Okay. This is not something that you can pursue side by side. If you suspect that your health is in not so good condition and your mental health is getting affected, then it's time to seek professional help. Breaking things into more simplified tasks. So if there is one task, most of the times the resistance is because you are taking into consideration writing a paper, and in subconsciously writing a paper can be a task which takes several hours to several weeks. Okay, simplify it and break it down into 10 steps. So usually what I do is break it into steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 1 is usually just open Microsoft Word doc and save it with that particular file name. That is the first step, and this is so easy that you cannot say no to it. Taking little bit of break, shuffling the routine, going somewhere and trying to find out the different things that work or don't work for you. Most of our troubles is because we are either focusing on past or we are focusing on future. We are never in present, and grounding is a technique to achieve that. So what this does is it helps you focus in the moment. There are few steps for it. If you are wearing any shoes or chappals, you remove it and plant your feet firmly on the ground. Take slow, deep breath. Count that you can use is 4, 4, 4. For inhaling, you inhale up till 4 counts. You hold it for 4 counts. You exhale for 4 counts. This is also called as box breathing. Relax your shoulders. You state whatever is the date and time, whatever is there in your surrounding. Have a look at it and comment on how and what is the shape of that particular thing. Remind yourself that you are in a safe space. Continue to breathe, relax, and observe what is around you. So this exercise may take some time and it will be quicker once you get a hang of it. But I have tried it, and trust me, this is the best thing that can happen to anybody. Reflection, journaling, meditation, these help in increasing self-awareness. I have done several videos on meditation and everything, so you can have a look. Many of the times this procrastination, being lazy or putting off things is one of the coping ways that we have learned in our journey of life, and it may not be a healthy one. So there could be several ways that can help you release the stress instead of resorting to procrastination. Most of the times when things don't go our way, the first thing that we do is beat ourselves up. It fails the strategy completely because it's like a vicious cycle. You fail in something, you beat yourself up, your self-esteem goes low, and then the cycle continues and thereby affecting the productivity. In fact, not only it will cause regret to you in that moment, future goals that you will undertake, the self-confidence which is required for that purpose, that also won't come because of that. Every person wants to feel that they are in control of the situation. If we are going this way, it is straight, and whatever obstacle comes, it's an obstacle in the path. But what if I tell you that the path only was this way? So this was not an obstacle. Your default path was not straight, but it was going like this. Okay. Having a support system, whether it is your family, your friends, or anything, having somebody to speak to is such a bliss. And sometimes I feel not everyone is lucky to have that, but if you have somebody, then speak it out. Setting a gamifying routine. So this I learned from James Clear, who is the king of forming habits, author of this book. So if, say, suppose you are starting to write, then having some kind of routine that you do before that. So what I do generally is I write paper or anything in our college library. So whenever, and that happens usually in the morning, I put little bit of lipstick and then I feel like I'm ready to take on the world. You don't have to put lipstick, you can have some other routine which will say that okay, now after this you will do your writing work or anything. So these are some of the things that you can do. Also, associating the feeling of that routine. Writing can be sometimes quite mundane and quite boring. So you have this routine that will excite you. So let me give an example. So when you think of dance, automatically your face lights up, okay? Your heart lights up. So that is because you have associated with that with that feeling. When you think of writing research paper, you are associating that to a very mundane task. So having a routine which is before that, so that helps you in associating yourself not with the writing work but with that routine that you are going to do prior to that, and that puts you in a relaxing state. So now you are able to work in that direction better. I hope you have found today's video useful. If there are any other suggestions pertaining to this particular topic, because I know I have struggled with it and I'm sure most of the research scholars do. Sometimes doing the experiment is easy than writing about that particular experiment, and I totally get it. So if you have any other suggestions, then drop in the comments. Till the next video.